No one when you're watching the Little Fears.
I apparently sure don't, because Skill kept me up until like 5:30 in the fucking morning last night.
Why? Fucking Skill.
The man can talk. He can talk a lot.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, he can.
Right, well, welcome back to Rawdog Readings. We are post the Beatles Lost episode right now, so we're all kind of subdued and hurting a little bit from that experience.
I don't know, I'm doing just fine.
I'm not.
No, I'm not either.
It was hilarious, though.
It was
I can
so
go
funny.
for hours.
Oh, God. So now we're going to switch to a Slimebeast story, just to have that contrast of good writing and awful, awful, awful writing.
But the other way around.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Probably.
It's early where I am, alright?
Fucking East Coast time. West Coast time.
West Coast.
I
West
know my
coasts.
cardinal already.
Should we do introductions again in case someone is listening to this without listening to the Beatles cartoon one?
Yep.
Listen to the Beatles cartoon.
Yeah.
Go watch it, then go read the pasta.
Yes. Yeah. Wait.
Or just look up WTFBeatlesCartoon.tumblr.com and just watch the clips that are on there.
There you go.
That's all you need to know.
So I am Abysmii.
Should've said that
With
in the
me.
next episode.
With me is Beth
Hello.
and Rose
Hey.
and Zath.
Hi.
And we're going to... Well, most of us are blind reading this, but Zath did read it a while ago, I guess. Like,
Yes.
as a year
Because,
passed or something.
Like probably more like when did they put this? Yeah, probably more like 3 years ago.
Oh, damn. Okay, so it's been a while.
Yes.
Okay. We are going to go in the same order for convenience's sake. So this is titled Watch for Willy. Posted,
Look out for the dick.
Watch out for that dick. This was posted on New Year's 2013. I was the meek and quiet kid who never really caused trouble. By virtue of this, I was also most likely forgotten by others during any given childhood game.
Relatable.
Playing teams for kickball. Guess who's last?
Playing tag. Guess who's off to the side with it, not even glancing over. Okay, that's not relatable because every time I was playing tag, they'd go after me deliberately just because they hate me. But
Get your dicks.
Yes. Hell, I spent 2 hours on a swing when I was really little, when the teacher forgot I was there after recess.
Aww.
oh,
I don't mind that much, though. There's a certain comfort in being wholly unnoticed. There are no expectations, bullies tend to leave you alone, that's not true, and so on. Really, it could have been much worse. When you're the loner kid, as I was, you get bullied because you're an easy target.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I guess he
How about-
was like that, but like they weren't even paying attention to him in that way. I don't know.
Maybe.
How about we read 2 paragraphs? They are really short.
Okay,
Yeah, these
sure.
are short paragraphs.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Starting
Sorry.
now, or?
Yeah,
Yes,
starting
Abby.
with Beth. Oh, with me?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where was I? Oh, okay. I'm not trying to complain about it, is what I'm saying. However, this fact of my youth came into play on at least one occasion that I will openly admit was one of the worst experiences of my life.
Ooh.
Despite being oft forgotten, even seeming to disappear in the middle of conversations with others, I was always still ready to play another game, to try again at being part of the group. Such was the case in one elementary school recess period, when a game of hide and seek was called.
Everyone hid, and it began seeking. There was a small clearing and some trees near the playground, a spot few kids knew about unless they were going there to do something wrong. I knew about it because, let's face it, I usually didn't have much else to do. As a child, the clearing seemed large, but looking back, it couldn't have been more than 4 by 6 feet. The ground was worn to packed soil, but the foliage all around completely concealed the area.
You might be able to guess where this is going. Yes, they forgot about me. At first I was giddy about being successful, about my successful hiding space, but that slowly gave way to sadness as I realized nobody even remembered I was playing.
Oh.
It took another few minutes to stop myself from crying. That was definitely something I didn't need other kids seeing.
Oh.
I think I've actually had that happen before.
Yeah,
just
I'm
being
getting some
forgotten
pretty
during
brutal
hide and seek.
flashbacks right now.
Yeah, I think I remember that happening like once. Usually they don't even let me play that.
My eyes were definitely red and irritated, as I didn't even see the root that tripped me up and sent me headlong into a fence post buried behind tall weeds. When I woke up, it was cold.
I heard moaning sounds, like the cows when they bellowed from the slaughterhouse,
Jesus.
whose pasture bordered the property I grew up on.
Oh, that must not have been nice to hear.
Yeah, that's a nasty
Ooh.
childhood
Yeah.
home situation. As my thoughts became clearer and my vision started coming back, the sounds also got sharper and more
It
defined.
was human voices calling out my name in that long, drawn-out manner one hears whenever the search is on for a missing child. Chris! Christopher!
Well, I'm done, because that's my name.
Well, it's Slimey's
Is
name
this-
too.
Yeah, it's Slimey's name, so I have to wonder if this is like,
Autobiographical.
yeah.
It
Well,
wouldn't surprise me if this part is.
He's used his names in other ones,
That's
so
true.
I guess
It all actually happened.
it explains a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could barely walk as I stumbled through the bush and followed the flickering flashlight beams in the pitch black of night. That wasn't the worst experience of my life. It came close, though.
My parents thought I was more affected by this incident than I actually was. I think now that they were just projecting how they had felt onto me. They thought I'd been kidnapped, probably killed, and they wanted to make sure this sort of thing never happened again. They took me out of school and stopped short of actually suing them over the incident when the school board agreed to some sweeping changes I didn't really understand at the time. Well, shit, no, I just would have sued them. Like, the
Well,
incident
yeah,
already
like, that's some
happened.
serious neglect there. Like, I have to wonder what didn't bring them the whole way.
Yeah, you have to wonder what those changes were. But of course, since he was a kid, he wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I became even more ostracized. I barely even left the house to play in the yard. After a few months of this, we got a visit from my Aunt Georgia. She was much older than her sister, my mom, and was always regarded as a bit nuts. You know the type. Fun aunt, terrible mother. Even at that age, I'd come to realize my cousins were pretty screwed up, damaged.
Yeah, there's aunt, mother, cousins being capitalized, which I guess a thing Slimebeast tends to do.
Yeah, he does.
Aunt Georgia always came with a gift or two, but usually nothing I wanted. It was more about what she wanted to do than what I wanted to get. There was always shirts with weird, nonsensical creatures on them, bootleg toys with sharp edges and dangerously small accessories, stuff like that. Like, that backpack which has a picture of Bart Simpson and it says, like, Sonic the Hedgehog Obama on it.
Yeah, that one.
Like that.
Like, the thing that immediately comes to mind with me is, like, has anyone heard about that whole evil stick situation that happened a couple years back?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yes.
Oh, actually.
Yes.
Okay, so basically what ended up happening was they, like, at this random, like, really sketchy small, like, dollar store someplace down in the States, they this mother went to go and buy a toy for her kid, and it was like something called an evil stick, and it had like knockoff anime character art all over it, and it looked like very reminiscent of like a Sailor Moon type of thing.
Yeah,
Just, like made out of super cheap plastic.
Card Sakura.
Yeah. And it had like a star at the top that had like a reflective fake mirror surface on it, but it was just like a sticker. And on the particular one that she bought for her kid, when you peeled back, because they had this on like all of them, but if you peel back the reflective surface and it has a photograph underneath, and on the specific one that she bought for her kid, it has like this demonic child slitting her wrist on it.
Whoa. Damn.
Not making this up.
And then
that's a real thing.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, it actually happened. And like the best part of the whole situation is that the owner of the dollar store was like, well, it said evil stick on it.
What do you expect?
This isn't false advertising or anything.
It's fucking evil. What did you expect? You bought it, you get cursed.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Come on. Caveat emptor.
So yeah, what I'm saying is I like that description of the bootleg stuff because I can totally see that.
Mm-hmm.
Like a weird aunt who like doesn't know what to get kids, so she just buys like whatever's cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So one Christmas, I forgot who got it for me, but like this was back when Pokemon had just super hit the Western world, and of course I wanted it, and someone got me Digimon instead. I was not happy.
Hey, Digimon's good too. Don't knock it.
It's not Pokemon.
Yeah, it ain't.
Yeah, the two are very different things.
So, yeah, which is hard to explain to an adult at that time because they don't know what the fuck is coming over from Japan.
They just think it's all the same.
Oh, it's some weird Japanese thing. It's probably the same thing.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm thinking now of like there's one thing that I ended up seeing that was like an Avengers playset, but it was like a really fake one. So it had like Iron Man and I think the Hulk in it, but then it also had what was it? A Shrek, Spider-Man, and
Sense of Wrong Alliance.
And the car from Cars.
Yeah.
I want Shrek to be a part of the Avengers so badly now. Oh my god.
We need a Sense of Right Alliance movie.
Oh my god.
Jokes aside.
Yeah, we have a story to read.
This time she came with a rolled up glossy tube beneath her arm, a poster. I took it from her with the usual sacrifice of cheek pinching and vaguely wrong kisses directly on the mouth.
Whoa.
As I was going to say, this story is so classically Slimebeast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like everything is just mildly wrong.
It's just oozing with slime.
Yes.
Yeah. Put your hand on it, you get slime. It feels so hyper realistic slime. If you put your hand on it, you get slime.
Okay. When I unrolled the poster, however, I was immediately amazed. It was a huge crowd scene full of cartoon characters. Each character doing some specific task like fixing a roof, walking a dog, catching some rays, stuff like that. Every inch of the poster was crammed with little people from edge to edge. It was almost maddening as I looked it over. The closer I held the image to my face, the more detail I could see. The further I held it, the dizzier I'd get.
When I say detail, I mean incredible detail. There was a man in a cowboy hat and an American flag shirt roasting hot dogs over a barbecue. And if I looked close enough, I could see the outline of Texas on his belt buckle. Keep in mind, this belt buckle was about the size of a grain of rice. Okay, if it's called Watch for Willy, is this a Where's Waldo like thing?
Oh yeah, it had a really blurry Where's Waldo type of thing in the thumbnail, so that's where I'm guessing this is going.
Okay, good.
I have to wonder where the hell she got this, because if she's getting all this bootleg stuff, you definitely would not see this level of detail in knockoff material.
She's going across the border to Mexico. She's getting this crap in the Tijuana black market. I've seen it many a time.
Yes. He's done it a lot of times too.
Shh.
I thanked Aunt Georgia and immediately told her how much I loved Where's Waldo. There we go.
Oh,
and that I would hang it up just as soon as I found him. She frowned for about a split second. I'd said something wrong. I do find it interesting that the protagonist doesn't say as if I had done something wrong. No, it's like that child sense of if you looked funny, you did something wrong.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, the aunt clearly seems to know that it isn't the actual thing.
There's obviously something going on here.
Something different. It's like the aunt knows that what she's buying isn't the real stuff, so that seems like change the whole perspective of her doing it.
Yeah.
Because before it was it's just she doesn't know that it's not real, but then I guess she does know it's bootleg.
She's just getting the cheap stuff.
She's just a cheapskate.
If she knows she's getting stuff that's really dangerous, then that makes her actions a lot more malicious.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
then I looked at the poster again. In the top left in the corner was a colourful logo that read, "Watch for Willy." Fuck. Beneath that, the text said, "Watch Willy wander. Can you find Willy in this busy, busy town full of colourful, oblivious little people?"
Okay, that's creepy.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Oblivious.
vaguely ominous.
Wow.
It was rosy as red, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
Says your go.
Yes. My heart sank. It was another Aunt Georgia bootleg. And while this one shouldn't have mattered at all, it did. This kind of thing always reinforced what everyone else was saying, that it wasn't worth remembering, wasn't worth playing with, and wasn't even worth buying the real product for.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Ooh.
This is harsh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it seems
Abby.
greedy now, even to me, but as a child, these things can be crushing. Doing my best
Absolutely,
to salvage
they
this...
can be.
Oh, yeah, because you don't know any better. Doing my best to salvage the situation with my childish intellect, I quickly backtracked and told her I meant to say I loved Watch for Willy.
Yeah, not my best lie. I hung the poster up in my room with a thumbtack on each corner, mostly because my parents and aunt accompanied me there, and I had no way out of it. It hung on the opposite wall of my bed, or the wall opposite my bed, where I could always look at it and remember I hated it.
Well, you can use that for motivation, you know. You can look at it and go, "I'm going to live my life to the fullest out of spite for you, poster."
Fuck you, Aunt Georgia.
Well, and I know that there's back at my room back at my parents' place, I know there's like tons of stuff in there where it's just like, I'm just going to hang this right here where I always see it and know that I hate it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So I'm used to that kind of mentality.
After they left, I decided to find this Willy person as quickly as I could, just to be done with the thing and use it up. This is where things started seeming odd to me.
The poster didn't make any mention whatsoever of who the hell Willy was or how to find him. There was no insert picture of him, basically saying, "Find a guy who looks like this," and there were no details to go on. Nothing about how he dressed, his features, anything. I also didn't know what oblivious meant, but what it said about the colorful little townspeople.
That is very interesting that like
Yeah.
it's like find this guy, but you have no idea what he looks like.
Yeah.
So just find the odd man out in a bunch of unrecognizable characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was by far the shittiest thing I'd ever seen. I knew it was shitty, and I was just a little kid. I looked over the poster for a short while longer, basically just to see if I'd missed anything. I studied the guy in his shorts, no shirt, mowing his lawn. His wife was bringing him a lemonade. It reminded me of my parents, so I paid special attention. Uh-oh.
Yeah. That's ominous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing that really caught my attention was a young woman in a bikini who seemed to be dancing around in the cool spray as if a broken
Of a broken
Oh, there's
fire
that
hydrant. That's
slimy
just a typo.
misspelling.
Oh,
of a
slimy.
broken fire hydrant. Okay, I get it now. Basically because she was a young woman in a bikini.
Well and truly through with the poster. I wonder what he did. I left
He's
to
a
see
kid.
Yeah,
Aunt
that's some
Georgia
odd
and
implications right there.
got that slime all over the poster. That's why I call him Slimebeast. It's not green. Or it is, and he's very unhealthy. Anyway, enough of the semen jokes. I left to see Aunt Georgia and my parents again before she left for another unknown span of months. I couldn't sleep that night.
Right.
It was probably because I'd had a lot more chocolate than I was usually allowed, because Aunt Georgia would slip them to me against my parents' wishes.
This is a really sketchy aunt.
Yeah,
Yes.
this goes way beyond the, I'm just going to be the cool aunt and, give him some extra chocolate. No, this is, what are you doing? This is weird.
And then like she disappears for months on end.
Yeah, and just comes back with random bootleg shit.
I clicked on the light and just stared into space for the longest time before I fixed my gaze on the poster. Poster, thank you.
There we go.
Where the fuck was Willy?
Walking over to the poster in my PJs and socks, I decided that was the real reason I couldn't sleep. that if I just figured out where Willy was, it would magically take away the twitchy, itchy feeling that was keeping me awake.
Oh, I like that phrase.
I started looking
Yeah.
over the poster again. Still no sign of who Willy was, what he looked like, or how to find him.
Then I stopped looking and moved closer to the poster. Very close. I clearly remember feeling the coolness of the slick surface against the tip of my nose. The Texan was dead.
Oh,
There he
shit.
was. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. There he was. Cowboy hat, American flag shirt, bent over the barbecue and on fire. His arms
Oh.
drooping down the sides of the grill with a trail of blood moving down his arm and dripping from his fingertip. The scene was, like the rest of the poster, frozen in time, cartoony, but still incredibly disturbing. No hyper-realistic blood here, it's just as cartoony as the rest of it. Which
Yeah.
honestly makes it creepier.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We're going to have to
And-
speak a lot about comparing and contrasting this to the Beatles cartoon, but let's do that at the
Yes.
end.
A lot of...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I quickly moved back from the image, terrified. I wanted to scream for my parents, but the sound seemed caught in my throat, like a stifled sneeze I wasn't trying to keep in. I got back to my bed as fast as I could and threw the blanket over me. I pulled all my limbs in tightly and didn't move a muscle or make a sound. This was how I stayed for what seemed like forever until, without realizing, I fell asleep.
I've done that before when I was scared by something when I was a little
Yep.
kid. I'd just freak
Mhm.
out and just stay really still on the bed, in a blanket.
When morning came, I was still stuck in that position, like a corpse with a death grip on its own body. The terror
Ooh.
had passed, and I knew it had been a nightmare. It wasn't the first I'd had, so naturally my reaction was to force myself out of bed no matter how unsettling the experience had been. Yeah, I've totally done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a dream. It wasn't real. I wanted to walk out of the room without so much looking in the general direction of the poster. I felt like sprinting through the door.
However, I knew that when I looked at the Watch for Willy poster again, I'd see the Texan was fine, and I would reassure myself that everything was as it should be. With a sigh and some fidgeting, I forced myself to look. The Texan wasn't slumped over the barbecue anymore.
That's because it was completely gone.
Oh, that's spooky.
Oh, shit.
I do really like how he it seems almost as if he's like formatting it a little bit differently, like putting an extra space in between these
Yeah, for
Yeah.
effect.
more
Definitely.
important
Yeah.
lines. Yeah.
It's a nice effect.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good.
This was still disconcerting, but seeing nothing where he once stood was much better than seeing a burning cadaver.
Mm.
So, without a second thought, I looked around the scene once again for any clue of what was going on.
I don't know if I'd say that. Because if I see something disturbing and then look back again to see it gone, that's
Yeah.
almost worse.
Yeah,
Well,
the
I
absence
guess since
of
he
what's
was a
frightening
kid-
it was worse. I mean, yeah, you're a kid and blood and gore is scary, but, you know, if you watch a scary movie, you know that it, you know, after the fact, you know it's a movie and you don't have to watch it anymore. But
Mhm.
if something weird happens and then it's inexplicably gone, you have no control over it. And I
Mhm.
think that's
Yeah.
frightening.
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely,
fun.
yeah.
The man mowing his lawn was still there, shirtless, in the exact same place, but his wife was no longer bringing him a lemonade. Instead, she was at the front door of the house, holding a phone to her ear and looking worried.
That's really odd that like it seems as if like very specific characters are animated. Like this isn't affecting all of them at the same time.
But it's the ones he focused on first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he described, I think, a couple others, but these are the ones that he described in most detail. So it's almost like
Mhm.
the poster is like, oh, I'm going to do shit to the ones you know about, so you can always find them or know where to look for them when you come to look back at the poster, and don't get lost in the shuffle.
This was still not as scary as what I'd already seen, so I looked around even more. The man walking his dog was gone. His dog sat obediently in the very spot he'd been previously, his leash sprawled on the ground with no one to hold it.
Other than that, everything was normal, or so it looked. The sheer number of little cartoon people on this poster made it completely impossible for me to truly tell who was missing and who was present if I hadn't already memorized them. Well, yeah, I guess that's why it would be like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There could be weird shit in the places you just don't, like, register.
Yeah.
I ate breakfast in silence. When my mum asked what was wrong, I told her it was nothing. I don't know why I didn't tell her what was going on. It's not like I thought she would call me crazy or say I was lying. I didn't even think it through that far. I just told her nothing was wrong because I had absolutely no idea what was wrong.
It wasn't until that night that I thought about the poster again. It was almost time for bed, and almost time for me to go back to my room. It suddenly dawned on me that yes, I was about to go back to the small room with the strange object that was doing something it shouldn't. That's the entire horror of this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're locked in here with me, type of thing.
Yeah. I threw a tantrum that night. I didn't want to go to bed, and I screamed and howled and carried on like never before. Having previously been a pretty good kid who never caused any fuss, my parents were shocked and pretty pissed off.
I would just like to say that if I were his parents, I would kind of expect this to happen after passing out in a field outside of school and, the teachers forgot about him. You would think something fucked up would happen after that. But anyway.
Yes.
In the end, it got me sent to my room even faster. When I got there, I decided to take the poster down. Maybe I'd roll it up and put it in the closet, or maybe I'd just ball it up and throw it away.
Would my parents even notice? There was a slim chance that they wouldn't, and even if they did, the thing would be gone and there would be nothing to do about it. I walked up to the thing and started to pull down one of the thumbtacks. Before I could free it from the wall, my eyes were already studying the graphics. I couldn't help it. Like when you don't want to see something in a scary movie, and before you realize it, you're peeking through your fingers at the worst moment.
Oh, that's a good,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
The man on the roof was dead.
Wait. Yeah, the man on the roof was dead.
Oh,
His
right.
nail gun laid beside him, and 5 bloody holes now marked his chest and stomach. The ladder that previously rested against the house had fallen over.
My eyes darted around again, without permission. The young woman dancing in the water was dead.
Oh.
So you're right about it being people he focused on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She was in the middle of the street, face down in the pooling water. Her dark hair spread out in tendrils with a bloody open wound in the back of her head. Her bikini was even askew, a detail that somehow made it even more sickening, as if she'd really fallen dead with no chance at keeping her modesty. By the time I'd quickly looked over the whole poster, there were 5 corpses who had suffered various injuries. I didn't know the other 3 because I hadn't studied them yet.
I could feel the tears welling up in my eyes, and I was having trouble getting my breath. I felt disoriented, cold, and shaky. What I would later come to know as a panic attack. I left the thumbtack in place and ran to my bed again. It worked before. Nothing got me, so it seemed like the best idea at the moment.
It was there, cowering under the covers like the non-person everyone thought I was, that I eventually calmed down and built up my courage. This was stupid. It was just a poster I never even wanted. I could take it off the wall if I wanted to. I could throw it away if I felt like it. It was just a piece of paper, no matter how strange and frightening.
It was just a piece of paper. Before I even gave another thought to what I was doing, I was at the wall pulling the thumbtack out again.
The man on the roof and the girl in the water were missing. So were the other 3 people I'd only noticed after they died. The man mowing his lawn was splayed out in the grass with the mower over his head, a pool of blood surrounding him. His wife was on the front steps, cut in half at the waist. It looked like her torso actually crawled toward her husband for a few seconds, leaving a trail of blood and gore behind. Oh, hell.
Oh, Jesus.
Damn.
Wow.
Like, it's just so... It's weird, because it's explicit, but it's happening on a poster of tiny... Like, you can imagine tiny drawn characters, and it's so much more freaky.
Like, there's definitely a lot of gore in this, but the gore is justified.
Yeah, it doesn't just happen.
It isn't just, oops, here's a ventriloquist dummy and dude, but the dude has no mouth and he has blood there. No, this is like...
Also
there's
Hitler.
a good reason for it.
Also
Also
Hitler.
Hitler. The person who had been sunning himself on the porch was now lying in the exact same position, but without his head. In a matter of seconds, I spotted the severed head several inches away, mounted on a picket fence post in someone else's yard.
Damn.
There was a mailman gunned down in the middle of the sidewalk. A pregnant woman who was seated on a bench slumped over with her throat slit and blood staining her flowered maternity dress.
Yeah.
Rose,
There was an entire wedding party on someone's lawn that was now little more than a series of scattered limbs around a smouldering crater. The bride and groom had been thrown from the blast and laid in crumpled heaps at the foot of an oak tree. The reverend was resting similarly on his head, his neck twisted so his face was situated below his back. It hadn't occurred to me that the Texan's propane tank had prepared.
Oh.
Perhaps most disturbing of all, to one corner of the poster, a pair of bare human legs protruded from the child's playhouse, a trail of blood left behind from being dragged there and stuffed inside. I yanked a thumbtack from the bottom corner of the poster and without thinking, threw it to the side. I didn't even want to touch anything that touched this monstrous piece of shit.
That's when I noticed a single droplet of blood, sticky, translucent crimson, rolling down my wall from behind the poster. It wasn't coming from where I'd removed the tack, it was actually dripping from beneath the paper's surface. I carefully lifted the bottom edge of the poster as strands of sticky, congealing redness stuck between it and the wall.
There, I revealed them. The missing corpses.
What?
Wow.
Oh, God.
Oh, shit!
The Texan, the young woman, the dog walker, and maybe 20 others I hadn't even noticed were missing.
Tiny, cartoony bodies all drawn directly onto my bedroom wall, lying there in a heap as very real, very pungent human blood seeped out of them. I half expected the little bodies to tumble down off the wall and onto the floor, but they didn't. They were just as immobile as they had been on the poster itself. Frozen above them were barely visible flies detailed right down to their legs, which were thinner than a hair.
Something caught my notice just beneath the section of poster I hadn't yet lifted. It was a leg. I pulled the paper off the wall a bit further, revealing the owner of the leg.
There, impossibly standing on nothing amid the blank expanse of my wall, was a tiny, average-looking man in a t-shirt, jeans and work boots. He had a tiny mustache and a balding scalp. He was covered from head to toe in gore.
I found you, I whispered with a slight crack in my voice. Hello, Willy.
Oh,
man.
It's so good.
Oh, man.
It's so good.
Oh, my God. All right,
Yeah.
so I don't know if you planned this, Zath, but this has so many parallels to the Lost episode we read previously.
I kind of just... It's
insane.
This one, I remember this one. Like, and it's like, this one's good. I remember it, so let's read it.
Yeah. Well, like, okay, so both are from a child's perspective.
Yes.
But one is clearly a child writing it and not being able to convey how it feels to be a child. And the other one is from Slimebeast, who does very well at conveying how children feel and react to trauma and certain situations, which he's always been good at. There's gore in both, but one just throws it in. The other one has a point. And even if you're not grossed out by it, you still want to know what is happening and why it's happening. And it is disturbing because this is funny. Saying hyper realistic blood and vomiting and all of that, like, it's just a thing now. It's a trope. But having it happen to cartoon characters on a Where's Waldo poster, that's like, it's such a mundane item. So to have it act in this way is frightening.
I think one reason it works too is that, I mean, Lost episode, I mean, anyone could, make a Lost episode with some fucked up shit going on in it. It's pretty easy, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Beth could do it.
Template's there, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says about my writing ability that you think, yeah, anybody could write it, even Beth could.
I'm not saying write it. I'm saying, I didn't say write it. I said even Beth could animate it.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
I didn't say even.
I heard writing too, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't say right. She's an animator, kind of, by the way, if the listeners don't know that, because they don't know that. Anyway, this is a poster. A poster is not supposed to behave like this.
It's, you're right. Yeah, it's a static image that is animated somehow. by
Yeah.
some character within the poster. Oh my god.
Plus the the fact that the gore is apparently in the same sort of style as it actually makes it more disturbing than had it if it was like, oh, it was realistic organs.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make, because if it's hyper realistic blood in a cartoon thing, you sort of disconnect it from the characters
Oh
in
yeah.
your head, because it's like, oh, it's just some fucking stupid shit. But if it's actually in the same style, like if you're actually seeing it, you would associate it with the character it was coming from, and it would freak you out more.
This does something that every creepypasta should try to do, and it's I will never look at a Where's Waldo book ever again.
Oh yeah.
Like, because not that I'm going to be scared of looking at one or anything like that, but this will always jog in my memory of, oh man, do I turn the page and then turn it back and something's different? And that is a really, really effective tool of taking something that everyone knows about and everyone, young and old, can identify and twisting it.
I think part of what makes it so effective with me personally is the fact that, like, I thought when initially when he flipped it over that they were just going to be like stuck to the backside of the paper, but no, they're stuck to the wall itself.
Yeah.
So they're not confined to just the poster.
Just any like 2-dimensional space.
Reminds me almost of The Art of Jacob Emery.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of it. Yeah,
Oh,
And
man.
that was fucking good.
That was a
Yeah.
good one. Both of them are really
it was
good.
really good.
Oh, wow. I like this. Read a shitty one and then read a Slimebeast story. It's
Yeah.
or just any
Palate
good story
cleanser.
we can find. It's really good contrasting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm trying to think of other things here.
Same.
Kind of a tangent, but just when the parents go to the school and they're pissed off, and we don't know exactly what happens. That just reminds me of a story I had. I got when I was in fourth grade or something. I was young. It was raining outside, so like recess was indoors, and I was just playing with one of my friends, and then another kid who was a known bully came over and just like started beating me up for no reason that I can tell. And a teacher saw and came over and broke it up. And the next day, I get called to the principal's office. I don't know why, but I go in there, and the bully's sitting there, and the principal's sitting there, and she sits me down and says, "Okay, tell me what happened." And I'm very confused because I basically said he beat me up. And she says, "Well, his story is different. He said you were beating another kid up, so he came to intervene or something," which doesn't make any sense. And so basically it was both of you are at fault, and we have a zero tolerance policy on violence here. So, you may be suspended or something, blah, blah, blah. We're going to talk to your parents. I walk home, and the school was 2 blocks away from my house. So I walk home, and my mom's sitting there and says, "What happened? I just got the call." And I explained it. She gets pissed off, and I don't know if she called or if she visited, but I learned later that she just got really, really angry with the principal and the school for basically, indicting me with no evidence, and it was just funny what happened. And it kind of reminded me of the parents went and did something with the school to deal with this, and we have no idea what happened. So it's just this story is so nostalgic because everyone can relate to everything that's happening in here.
Yeah, like I can't quite, because I guess it's more of a like American school thing for stuff to be handled that way.
Yeah.
But like I can think of times that something's happened between my parents and school, and I had no idea what the fuck it was.
Yeah.
And I guess there's a literary parallel here between the kid feeling like no one pays attention to him and Willy, who uses no one paying attention to him to kill people. And that's a weird one. Like, you have two characters with the same condition reacting very differently to life.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so as we Okay, Buff.
I have to wonder, like, what was this aunt's intent?
Yeah, what about the aunt?
That's what I really have to think about.
Yeah,
We could chalk it up just being a wacky aunt. I have a couple.
Yeah,
But-
she could just be really weird, but
I-
considering she seemed to know it wasn't like a Where's Waldo thing, like, is she aware of the brand Watch for Wally? Does she know what it is?
I don't know. Like, there is something malicious to her, but is it
Oh,
intentional?
yeah.
yeah.
I think it might be.
It could just be like, and she's a bit negligent. She feeds him way too much chocolate. She clearly, oh no, she does have kids of her own.
Yeah, he
because
mentioned that
cousins.
the cousins
Yeah.
are all messed up, which makes sense considering that,
Yeah,
you know, if from what we've seen of her, she's clearly not a good aunt, let alone a good parent.
I don't. Oh yeah, I don't know what to make of that.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Okay, so no, actually, I want to say something before that.
Go for
This is, it's really one reason why it is effective in a way, because we still have mysteries.
Yeah.
Not like just leaving things ambiguous because, hey, I'm gonna leave things ambiguous because I'm fucking lazy. But like, hey, here's another mystery. Okay, so another question: what makes the gore in this story is effective?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What makes it different from any other shitty gore stories?
Because it's number one, it doesn't fall into the trope of it was hyper realistic. It was real. I swear, guys, it was really happening to me. It's clearly a cartoon. It's
Mhm.
but that's
The
its
blood and gore
strength.
was realistic. It looked so real that it looked like it was real.
Seriously, like
Yeah.
it's not pretending to be, oh my god, the blood came through the TV screen. It's no, this, was a cartoon with a G-rated cartoon where horrible X-rated stuff is happening to people for no apparent reason, and the fact that it's kept within the medium, like we already said, is what makes it unnerving, because it's something acting the way it shouldn't. Not in the way, like, Lost Episodes have become such a thing that you're expecting there to be hyper-realistic blood, so it's a given, and that completely eliminates any factor of, oh, this is scary, because I'm expecting it. This is something doing what it shouldn't, and that is unnerving, at the very least. Go ahead.
I think another reason it works too is because there's more things here going on in the gore.
Yeah.
It's sure the gore is creepy, but what's really creepy is, wait, what the fuck is happening?
And why are
Yeah.
the bodies disappearing?
Yeah,
Well, on top of that, like again with like expectations and everything, when it comes to Lost Episode stuff, you always expect the same thing. They're always going to be bleeding from the eyes. That's
Yeah.
always what they're going to be doing. But like with this one, it's just you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's coming,
yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
and
have
it
no
even
idea
it
what's
even
going
like
on.
further enforced that by changing the method every time something got killed,
yeah,
because it was
It's-
it was a different way every single victim.
yeah.
And I think
Um,
another strength is that he says in the story, I could just tear this down at any point. I could get rid of it. This would be done and over with. And at the end, he does tear it down, but it's too late. So even getting rid of this thing does not stop what's happening. And that is an incredible feeling of hopelessness and helplessness that is really powerful. So like there's no way to cure the situation. Once he put it up there, his fate was sealed, essentially. And
Yeah.
that is, a lot better than a videotape burning your VCR to death
Yeah.
for no reason. Oh. Damn. Well, good choice, Zath. That was good.
Yeah.
That was excellent.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fucking great.
And thank
Kind
you,
of upset I
Slimebeast.
didn't. Kind of upset I hadn't read it before. Honestly.
Mhm.
Well, now we have an opportunity to go through the enormous backlog that exists.
Yeah.
And I think
do.
I've read maybe 10 Slimebeast stories, so there's a bunch I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, which is why
I've
we're
read
doing
quite a
this.
few-
Yeah.
yeah, I've read quite a few of them, but I know that like with me specifically, I feel really bad about it. But I've really just read the really short ones
Yeah.
mostly.
Oh man. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Well. I guess we'll try to make this a weekly thing. And
Yeah.
anyone who wants to join, feel free. Just I'll try to put up I'll try to give advance notice when we're gonna do this. Sorry to YouTube Death who kind of came in the middle. Again, I'll try to let everybody know so that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you everyone for listening. I'm Abysmii. With me is Beth. Or don't say anything. That's cool too. Rose and Zath.
Well, I
and
can't tell
Hey, I
whether to
was
say
gonna
hi
say
or bye.
bye. We're signing off.
I was
Okay.
going to say something.
Fare thee well, everyone.
Very
Remember,
well.
don't use protection. Rawdog it. All day, every day, 24/7.
Bye everyone.